Good morning, Mark Mazzocca with Common Sense Research, and I wanted to go over yesterday's market action and some election results. So yesterday was a classic technical breakdown where the market failed to get through the overnight high of 34.9650. When we got into the cash open, the market just started to trade lower there, and then the downside momentum accelerated when we couldn't hold on to the high volume support area at 34.9125. And once we got below that, really things just accelerated to the downside. And you can see, on the volume profile chart here that right around the 34.55 area, the market tried to hold on again, but with lack of clarity over the stimulus and some negative comments about China out of the State Department, the momentum just built to the downside and the market really just couldn't hold on. So we traded lower throughout the day. But, as you can see with the chart and volume profiles, we can see how the market tried to hold on and how it reacted in the ways that it reacted. So this gives us a very good picture as to what's going on. And so far we're bouncing today. So we'll see what happens going forward. In terms of election results, we're actually seeing some very interesting things. And this, again, is where it's very important to be doing your own research, especially looking at independent sources through Twitter, through other areas in social media, because you can really find some interesting stuff out there. And what we're seeing so far is that Republicans are leading in key swing states such as Florida, new voter registrations by quite a bit. And that could be a huge factor in determining the election results. And another issue are vote by mail results, where Democrats were expected to be having a massive showing in across the country in vote by mail, and that's not happening so far. We're actually seeing Republicans leading in some key states, as well as tying or just being slightly behind Democrats in vote by mail results. And the logic here is that Republicans are still expected to have a very large showing on election day. So if there's not a significant Democrat lead in vote by mail as was expected so far right now, it certainly doesn't bode well in terms of expectations. So anything's obviously still possible, but when we look at the hard data that we're seeing so far, things are actually favoring Trump. And that's not something that you're going to see widely distributed throughout the mainstream media. So again, focusing on this independent research can be so helpful. And here's an interesting little tidbit. In Pennsylvania, there was actually, in 2020, there's been over 200,000 new gun permits issued. Now, when we look at at what has gone on in the country in terms of riots and protests, etc., new gun registrations are certainly something to kind of think that those could be people that are more inclined to vote in the Trump camp, because the Second Amendment is clearly under fire from the Biden campaign in terms of, restrictive gun laws and just outright gun buybacks, as they like to say. But it's just a really interesting thing to keep an eye on, because in 2016, Trump won Pennsylvania by about 80,000 votes or so. And just in 2020, we've now seen over 200,000 new gun permits issued. So that could be very interesting. If there's actually new gun sales, have actually gone through the roof throughout many parts of the country. So this is, it could be an interesting stat. That could be one of those obscure indicators that actually ends up deciding the election. So who knows? But anyway, there's a lot of interesting things to keep an eye on, and we got another action-packed day in front of us. So I'll touch base with everyone later. Thanks. Bye.